Well, welcome to this online revision session for AQA D1, in which we're looking at the June 2011 question 4 involving the shortest path. Well, in this question we're given a network which shows the pathways at a school connecting each department, and the numbers on the edges represent the times along that path. You can see that on the next slide. There it is. So, Carol's the head teacher, wishes to walk from her office O to the drama department. And in part A, we have to use Dijkstra's algorithm to find the minimum walking time from O to D. Key thing that we need to do here is to clearly show our method, so that we're showing that we are using Dijkstra's algorithm. So she's starting from the office, so that would be our 0 time for our starting point. And then going from O to F is 7, so we can put a temporary label of 7 on here. To the science department, that would be a temporary label of 10. And then to the maths department, a temporary label of 6. We then look to see which is the smallest of those, which is the maths department. So we can label this one permanently by putting a box on it, and then work out the times from maths to the religious studies department, which would then be 6 plus the 8, giving us 14. Then 6 plus 3 gives us 9 to the science department, which is an improvement on 10. So we can cross that one out and replace it with a 9. And now we can compare the 7, the 9 and the 14. And now it's the 7 which is the smallest, so that is the shortest time for getting to the French department, so we can box it. And now work out technology is 7 plus 7, which makes 14. 7 plus 1 gives us 8 to science, which again is better than the 9, so we cross out the 9 and put in an 8. Once again we've got 14, 8 and 14. So the 8 is now to be boxed, that's the smallest value. And now we can work out from science that 8 plus 10 gives us 18 to English. We've then got 8 plus 5, which gives us 13 to technology. 8 plus 21 gives us 29 to drama. 8 plus 10 gives us 18 to business. And then 8 plus 5 now gives us a 13 to the religious studies, so that's an improvement. So that one is replaced. We now look for the smallest values. We've got 13 at technology, we've got 13 at religious studies, so we can take either of those next. So 13, we'll box the technology one first. 13 plus 4 gives us 17, so that's an improvement on the English score of 18. Nothing else to do now, but again compare. Well, we've got 17, 18, 28, so the 13 is again the smallest, so we can box this one. And 13 and 3 makes 16, so that now makes this one 16. We now got 16 and 17 and 29, so we can now box the 16. And then 16 and 7 gives us 23, which is an improvement on the 29. We then got 17 as the smallest one, so we can box the 17. And 17 and 5 makes 22, so again that's an improvement on the 23, so we cross that out and put that in. the 22. And finally, that's the last value, we can now box the 22. The 6 marks for this part would be allocated as follows. If we got 2 or more values at S and T and R, and that will give us a method mark for showing a correct method. Got a correct value at S of 8, that will give us an answer mark, an accuracy mark. If we've got 2 values at E and 2 values at B, that will give us further method mark. And if we've got 3 values at D, that will also give us a method mark. If all of the values are correct in our table, we would get an answer mark. And then for finally having 22 at D, we would get 1 more mark. Okay. Part 2 of the question then asks us to write down the corresponding route. So what we've got to do is to work backwards from D to trace back where we came through the diagram to get to D. So we start at D. D had a value of 22. So you can see 22 take away 7 is 15. That's not right because it's 16 at B. 22 take away 21 is 1. So that's not right. So it must be the 22 take away the 5 to give us 17. So E must be the place that we came from to get to D. Similarly from the 17 take away 10 is 7, and that's not 8. 17 take away 4 is 13, so the next one we come back to is T. From T being 13, 13 take away 7 is not 7. 13 take away 5 is 8, so that takes us to S. From S, 8 take away 1 is 7, so that must be F. And then from F, 7 take away 7 gives us 0, which takes us to O. So this is the order in which we followed through the network O, F, S, T, E, D. And again, for stating that result, we would get 1 mark. Then it says on another occasion, Carol needs to go from her office to the Business Studies department. Write down her minimum walking time. If we go back to the diagram, the key thing is that each of these boxed values is the shortest time to get from the office to that place. So if we are trying to get to the Business Studies department, the value that's boxed is 16. So the time it would take would be 16 to get from O to B. And again, stating that value will give you 1 mark. It then also asked you to write down the route corresponding to this minimum time. So once again, we've got to start from B and trace back through the diagram. So 16 take away 10 is not 8, but 16 take away 3 is 13. So that will take us to R. From 13 take away 8 doesn't give you 6. 13 take away 5 does give you 8. So that takes you to S. And then from S, 8 take away 1 is 7, so that takes you to F. And then from F we go back to O. So the root would be OFSRB. Again, for 1 mark. Well, hopefully you found that solution helpful. For further assistance with your maths revision, please go to the Further Maths Support Programme website.